Hey everybody, welcome to our humble kitchen. My name is Rosa, and today we're going to be showing you what we ate as a whole food plant-based vegan family of 7. We are also going to be doing a little bit of recipe testing, so join us in making some cookies as well. Let's go. Breakfast time, we had some leftover focaccia and here's how we made it. We made a very simple yeast dough out of our spelt flour and some yeast. We let it sit and rise for a little bit. We then put our dough onto a baking sheet, poked a ton of holes on them, stuffed them with some gorgeous, beautiful cherry tomatoes and olives. Made sure that we tried to get every single nook and cranny and poked some more holes as Mercy did. Added some Italian seasoning, drizzled on some olive oil, and then baked it in a hot oven until it is nice and ready. We had a little bit of homemade hummus and also some olive oil on the side that we made fresh at home, and that's what we had for breakfast. I am trying to get some dinner started early, so I'm going to make a potato soup. I just chopped up some mirepoix, which is onions, carrots, and celery. We're going to add this into a pot and get that started. I really like to start on soups early in the afternoon or early morning. The earlier the better, because the longer you cook soups, the better it gets. Prove me wrong, seriously, because I have never eaten a soup that was not delicious, that was cooked for hours and hours and hours. Am I right? So along with our mirepoix, I also have some peppers, some tomatoes, some cauliflower. I am seasoning it with some salt, some onion powder. We have some Italian seasoning, smoked paprika, a little bit of ancho chili powder just from some extra smokiness. To make sure your food is not bland, please season your food. And then we're just going to saute it, make sure all of the flavors meld together deliciously. We added a bit more vegetables here, so I have some broccoli and potatoes, and let it cook for a little bit. We're also going to be attempting to make something out of almond flour and some bananas. I just have some leftover bananas that I needed to use up. We are going to combine it with a few ingredients. Let's see how this works. I'm hoping to make sort of a breakfast cookie type thing. Yeah, we'll see. It's more of an experiment. So I just have some mashed bananas, and then we're going to add, we have about 1 to 2 tablespoons of almond butter. We're going to add about 1 cup of coconut sugar. We don't want to add too much because the bananas are sweet themselves. And then we also added 2 cups of almond flour here. Now, we are experimenting with this recipe. So we started off with that. We're going to add some baking soda, and then I had Grace to chop up some delicious walnuts for some crunch in these cookies. You can absolutely leave it whole if you want to, but right now for this cookie, we like it in little pieces. We're also going to be adding 1 cup of oats. This is just rolled oats. We like the whole form. The steel cut is a little bit too hard. And then so we also added some chocolate chips, about a half a cup or a full cup or 3 cups, however much chocolate chips you like. We're going to give that a quick stir. It looked like we did need some more chocolate chips. So we added a little bit more, give it a good mix. You can see that this batter was a little bit thick here. So we're going to add 1 more cup of almond flour and a little bit more oats. Don't forget, you want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And once these are all nicely mixed, we're going to make cookies out of them. We're just forming about 2 tablespoons worth of cookie dough or cookie batter onto our baking sheet. This is our first batch. We are going to bake these for about 10 minutes or so on 375 degrees, and then we will see how they do. First batch of cookies are done. They're a little bit poofy, more poofy than I expected. I am going to try it with another batch, so I'm going to flatten the second batch out. Meanwhile, the kiddos are doing school in the background as I make cookies. I let the cookies cool on the tray for about 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to transfer it to a wire rack just so it can cool completely. Going back to the soup, I am now just adding some water just to cover the vegetables, just enough to cover them, because I want to make sure that this soup is nice and concentrated. The more it cooks, the more concentrated the flavors are going to be, the better the soup will be.
On to the second batch of cookies. So this time I plan to flatten them out just a little bit, and then we are going to bake them for a little bit longer. Now this batter is a little bit sticky here, so I did have to use my hands. I tried to get all the cookies on one baking sheet as much as possible. We're gonna flatten this out. If you think that it's too sticky, you can add some water on your fingertips, flatten them out a little bit. We're going to bake them at the exact same temperature, 375 degrees, for 15 minutes. Here's what our cookies look like up front. This reminds me of sort of a breakfast cakey type consistency. It's nice and fluffy.
This cookie is definitely a softer cookie. It's more like a cake. It tastes delicious. We're going to try to bake the second batch. We flattened it out a little bit, and we're going to bake it for about 15 minutes. We'll see how this one does, but other than that, this is a nice fluffy, if you like a fluffy cookie, this could actually be a good muffin. Or maybe a cake. Maybe I just made a cake recipe and I just baked it into a cookie form.
All right, the second batch is done as well. You can see that they are kind of flatter here because we did flatten them out, and I just did the same, let it cool for about 5 minutes as I snack on a few cookies. And then I'm going to transfer the rest of the cookies on a wire rack to cool completely.
Alrighty, test batch number 2. This is the same batter. I flattened it out so it's a little bit flatter, and we cooked it for 15 minutes instead of 10. It's a lot more cookie consistency. It's still soft. Let's give it a try. Definitely tastes a little bit more like a cookie. So just have to cook it a little bit longer depending on how you like your cookies, fluffy, cakey, or crispier. This is good. I have all of our cookies in a Tupperware. We're just going to save it, and it is ready for snack time whenever someone is hungry or someone's asking for a snack.
It is now lunchtime. We are making a batch of brown jasmine rice. I love this jasmine rice. It's actually really delicious. It's nice and fluffy. It doesn't taste like a brown rice. And then I'm just going to add some water, and we're going to cook this for about, I would say about 30 minutes or so. For Trey's lunch, I have some vegetables here, some cauliflower, beets, and broccoli that I'm going to roast up at 425 degrees. Meanwhile, I am refilling our hemp in our mason jar. We like to purchase it in bulk because we use our hemp seeds so much. It's such an easy way to get some protein in your diet. I have some hemp seeds here, some cilantro, lemons going in because I don't have lime, but if you have lime, this is perfect. Add some onions in there, blitz it up. This is going to make the most delicious, creamy salad dressing or sauce that you can put on literally anything. We're going to add it to our vegetables here for Trey's lunch. I have a big bowl of romaine lettuce and some red onions here, and I'm going to layer the sauce. I'm going to put the sauce on the bottom, and once the roasted vegetables are done, we will then get that out and put that on there. This is a great combination of vegetables. If you don't like salads, I guarantee you will like this salad. And make this sauce because it is delicious. If you want the recipe, I have a full video of all the hemp sauces that you can make at home to elevate any salad and any sandwich or burger that you eat. And here you are, the most delicious, massive salad for Trey's lunch. For the kiddos, we're going to make some sauteed vegetables. So Mercy here is going to help me prep some bok choy. This is her favorite vegetable. I don't know what it is, but this is her absolute favorite. Alongside these vegetables, I have chopped up some Brussels sprouts, zucchinis, some of the leftover red onions. You can use any onions that you want. In our largest skillet, we have some grapeseed oil going down, and then I just added our onions, Brussels sprouts, and the veggies that I just chopped, and then I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. Here is how we prepared our bok choy. We are simply just going to cut the butts off of it, and then we're just going to fan it out because we want to make sure that all of the leaves are sort of separated. We like it this way. You don't have to. You can just saute it the way that it is, but I prefer it this way because you make sure that all of the leaves get all of the nice garlicky flavors from the garlic oil that we just made in this pan. To help steam and sort of cook the vegetables a little bit better, I'm just adding a little bit of water, and then we're going to add in our bok choy. Now you can definitely season this however you want to. I like to keep it simple, so I added some salt in here. You can add some coconut aminos, which I did later on, but I like to keep this very, very simple, and I just added some more garlic in here at the last minute just to keep that fresh garlicky flavors very pungent. Now we don't usually eat a lot of garlic. Garlic is a blood thinner, so just keep that in mind if you have issues with your blood. These vegetables smell absolutely delicious. The water and the coconut aminos helps make sort of a sauce in here as well. I am also warming up some leftover chickpea curry in the background. And then I'm just going to serve this up in a big Tupperware because you never know when we're going to have leftovers. And then our simple lunch is served. I just put all of our items, the rice, the vegetables, and the chickpea curry on our counter here. And then we're just going to have all the kids come and grab a plate. I will serve the little kiddos, and the other ones can just serve themselves however much they want. And here is what we had for lunch. This was so easy, a very simple, homey dish. The bok choy really reminds me of home because I grew up eating this. I love this bok choy the way that I cooked it just with some garlic and some salt. It was bomb. And then it is snack time. I'm just having one of those banana almond flour cookies. It was so delicious. I'm planning on making this more. Dinner time is here. This is what the soup looks like once it's cooked all throughout the day. The kids ended up having some of this soup as well. Israel really likes soup. We had plenty to go around. I made a pretty big batch of soup here. This is actually a very frugal way to feed your kiddos, and it's so nutritious. All of the vegetables are cooked down. All the nutrients are just coming out into the soup. You can serve this with some crusty bread if you want to, or maybe on top of some rice. We are going to have some dinner and go to basketball practice.
And that is it. I hope that you enjoyed spending time with us in the kitchen, experimenting with cookies, and just checking out what we ate for the day as a whole food plant-based family of 7. I hope this gives you some inspiration. Let us know in the comments is one of your childhood favorite foods. I know I mentioned that bok choy, the way that we make it with just some garlic, is a very nostalgic dish. That is very cool that we pass it on to, or I pass it on to Mercy, that she loves it so much. But let us know in the comments, what is your favorite, or maybe some just a nostalgic dish that you like to make at home as well. If you're new, please subscribe to our channel. We would love to see you in the community. Like and share this video if you had fun with us. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.